for tuning into Pro Talk with the Mighty Oba. Today on Pro Talk, we have with us one of the finest individuals I have ever met in my life. She is the only person with a NFL sanctioned event at the Super Bowl. For 21 years, she has put forth the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, in which she has given NFL players to bring their testimonies of faith. And I mean, many of them are world shaking. When you hear their stories, the story of Tommy Harris, the story of Ray Lewis, all of those people came to the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, including the great Russell Wilson, who I call the General, and Troy Vincent, and many others. She has been honored all over this country for her achievements. She is one of the great people that you will ever have the opportunity of meeting, Miss Melanie Few, the creator and founder of Super Bowl Gospel Celebration. Hello, Melanie.
Hey, how are you?
How'd you like that introduction?
I loved it, but you're my friend. You're my friend, so you're partial.
But
You're
truthful.
very biased.
But truthful. Knowing that you're a woman of faith and have one of the best hearts I have ever met. Now,
Thank you so much.
well, it's my pleasure. You have treated me with kindness since I started covering the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration many years ago at this point.
I know it's been so many years.
Well, tell me, what made you do, or what made you create the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration? How did it come about?
Well, it came about because I had gone to the Super Bowl with a friend. And I wasn't thinking about doing a gospel event or church event or anything like that. And when I went, I thought, wow, this is amazing. This weekend is so much excitement, so much activity, people just full of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
I had the idea, I realized, I felt like something was missing. And I said, there's no gospel concert at Super Bowl.
Right.
And so I wrote the NFL, and I got about 7 years of rejection letters. And after 7 years of rejection letters, I wrote the NFL Players Association. I wrote to Gene Upshaw, who at the time was a friend of mine, her boss. And so after I did that, he was like, yeah, okay. And I got so sick of writing an email. And he said, I tell you what, if you can get Gladys Knight to do the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, then I'll help you do it. We can do it up under the umbrella of the NFLPA.
Mm.
Little did he know that my aunt and Gladys went to high school together. And I said, oh, you haven't anything but work. And so, to make a long story short, we delivered Gladys and had all this other amazing talent. And as the years went on, it was the Players Association. And so after that, they stopped the NFL from doing public events, and the NFLPA, excuse me. And we thought Super Bowl Gospel was just going to go away. And then we heard from the NFL, and they said, hey, the players seem to love this event. We're going to sanction you.
Mm.
We did not know what sanction meant.
Mm.
And I was hoping it meant let's meet up at the bank. But but it didn't mean that. It means they give you the rights and the blessings to go forward and have a sanction with the intellectual property of the league.
Yes.
So that's what it meant. And we have been on this journey now for 21 years and had some of the most amazing talent from everybody. I could go on and on.
Yes.
So I'm really scared to even name names, but from, Kirk Franklin to Fantasia to Yolanda Adams to Donnie McClurkin, Erica Campbell, Mary, I could go, Patti LaBelle, I could go on 24 hours naming,
Yes.
The talent, and I shouldn't have done that because I know I've missed, left some folks out, but it's just been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be on this journey 21 years. And to be honest with you, I had said, Lord, please let me make it to 20 because
Yes.
it'll be in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
I did not really know that I would go to a 21. I because he answered my prayer at 20. I said, if I make it to 20, I'll be at peace that I made it 20. And he gave me the ability and the blessing to be surrounded by an amazing team and people that have poured into my life. So I was going to be okay with that. But he saw fit to, bless me with being able to stay on this journey, and I'm grateful.
Melanie, what has been your greatest struggle over the years with Super Bowl gospel celebration?
There have been many because when people come to an event like this, they come and enjoy it, but they don't really realize the sacrifices that are made and how much, and they should. It's their job to have a fun night out and to
Right.
enjoy it. What I tell anybody what goes on, and I've worked many shows, including the Grammys. Years ago, I worked the Grammys. All hell can be breaking loose backstage, but as long as no one in the audience knows it,
Exactly.
it does not matter. So I tell anybody, when you have a small team, I'm a small business owner, and we don't have, millions and millions, nothing like that. It's when you are coming from the ground up, because I'm blessed to have a TV partner that, definitely feels the gap with the production, but there's so many more layers. And, from graphics to PR to you name it, things that have to be done on our side. And all that has to be paid for. And so as a small business owner, sometimes, you know, um, getting those invoices and having to pay them, it's hard.
Right.
But you have to do what you have to do, and you have to respect people's time and their God-given gifts. And I think that's why I've had the same team for 13 and 14 years, is because I try to put in the universe what I want back, which is respect.
Right. Now tell me, Melanie, who have been your favorite NFL players that have helped you?
You know what? I can't go there because I'm scared.
Well, you've
I'm
had
gonna
certain
miss.
people that were been there, like Tommy Harris,
Okay, so yeah,
Michael
definitely.
Gaines.
So Michael and Tommy have been here almost the whole ride.
Right.
They came on board, I think 2006 or 2007. I don't remember the exact year, but they've been on this journey with me a long time. Ori Johnson been on this journey
Right.
pretty much the whole ride. Brian Scott didn't come too much farther behind them. So there have been those guys that have been rock solid, supportive, and committed to the cause. And then there are guys that are currently still playing, like your Russell Wilson, like your Von Miller, like your Jameis Winston, like your Cam Newton, who have also been supportive. It's
Right.
a different kind of support, because they are uh, have started to come over these last few years and just really love it.
Mm-hmm. Now I remember there were some real lean years, even when I was covering that you and I talked, and you said that I believe it was around the time frame of the economic downturn. Am I right?
Oh yeah, there's been plenty of those.
And a lot of the sponsors pulled away. How did you manage those challenges?
Personal sacrifices. That's why I tell anybody I look at things very, very different now. When I go to a show, I look at things very differently because I know the sacrifices that may have been made
Mm,
to pull it off. So that's what. Yeah, I could just say, yeah, there have been many lean years, and I'm just grateful that I came from a praying family that just allowed me to just say, you know what, I'll make personal sacrifices because God does not release me, and I will do what I got to do because this is His will. But there have been a lot of personal sacrifices
Mm.
made.
And during the tenure of this great event, tell me about some of the performers that have really stepped up to. I mean, you don't have to name names because I know there's a whole bunch of them, but I know that you have some great relationships with some of the gospel superstars that have helped you um, get this program forward many times over. Who are, without saying names, what have they done to really help you keep the Super Bowl gospel celebration going?
Um, yeah, many artists. It could be as simple as praying for us. It could be as simple as, I'm not going to charge you my normal rate because I know that a percentage of the sales go to charity, and I know that, that this is a journey because many of them have done branded events on their own, so they know it's nowhere near as easy as it appears.
Mm.
So it's been many over the years.
And I know Donnie McClurkin is one that has showed up
Oh
for
Lord,
you
Lord
many
have mercy,
times.
yes. Hmm.
Now, how's his health? I know he had some health challenges. Is he going to be able to participate this year?
He is participating. No one's told me anything.
You know, he was in a car accident about a year or two ago.
Oh yeah, he's much, much better, and he
Okay.
will be there this year.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, that's what I was referring to. I knew as far as
Okay.
any
Yeah, I was like, what
challenges.
happened?
Hmm.
I was about to say, what happened?
Right. No, I was talking about the car accident
Okay.
as far as him, and
Oh,
I know he's released a new album, so obviously, I did see he had committed to being on Super Bowl Gospel Celebration again. And because of you, I've met him and many others many times over. If you notice, I'm always posting pictures from Super Bowl Gospel
and
Celebration.
you should, because you're family.
Absolutely. And I consider you family also. You know that.
I know it. I know it.
Tell me too, Melanie, what has been your favorite city out of all this over the last 20 years?
Need you ask
I
Atlanta?
know Atlanta is definitely, that's your
I think
hometown.
Atlanta.
Well, let's
I think
exclude
Atlanta
it.
was mine.
Outside of Atlanta, what city?
Let me just think. Been so many cities where the people have been so wonderful. I mean, Minneapolis was a really great. Um, Houston was huge. We were at Joel Osteen's
Right,
church.
right.
It's been a few because God has been so faithful. Um, it's been a few.
I'm gonna
I,
give you.
I really
I'll give.
can't say,
Well,
but
how
if
about if
I
I do?
can
How about
say,
if I do this? I'm gonna give you a city, and then you tell me what was your thoughts of it. And the first city I wanted to give you was Detroit. I thought Detroit was such a mecca of gospel, and you had such a historic lineup there. I was there. That was one of the first gospel celebrations that I had went to, and I just thought Detroit was an awesome city. I think it was at the Scottish. It was the Masonic Cathedral.
yes. Oh,
Is
that's
where you
been
had it.
years.
Yes, yes. Patti LaBelle was there, the Winans, the
Yes.
Clark sisters, and you've always had great lineups. But how did you like Detroit because of its historical significance?
Of course, I loved it. Now that cold was on some different
I
levels.
know that's right.
That and Minneapolis, I couldn't even feel my hand and feet.
Right.
I think they're still there, but I'm not
Yes.
sure. I would have to say, let's see. Oh, it's just been so many good cities.
Miami, you've been there. This will be the
I've
third
been there.
time, right?
I've been there a few times, and it's always good. But there are some cities where, because we go wherever the Super Bowl is. But there are some cities where people are just more convicted
Yes.
about gospel
Yes.
and gospel music and just loving it.
Yes. New Orleans, that was an interesting city for you.
Yeah, that's been years since we.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was definitely interesting
Mm.
because that was right after 9/11. So people had to get to the stadium so early because of, security checks.
Yes. And that has changed a lot too
Yes.
over the years, security for events and everything else.
Uh-huh.
But this is your third Super Bowl gospel celebration in Miami, correct?
I think it's the fourth, if I remember. I'm not. I got to go back and look.
Okay. It might be. Over the
Yeah,
last 21 years, it could be your
I
fourth.
think it's the fourth because it
Yeah.
goes there all the time because it's warm.
Right. Right. And the last one was New Orleans against the Indianapolis Colts. Because
Was that what it was?
that was the last one. That was 2009. Because they made them renovate the
This
stadium.
year.
Yeah, that was 2009.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they
I
made
know.
them renovate the stadium after that.
Yeah, yep. It has been years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now,
so, like I say, I don't. That was not one of my fondest memories, only because. Oh no, you're talking about we had Fantasia that year. That was a good year.
mm-hmm.
Fantasia, Lecrae. Yes, I know what you're. I'm getting my New Orleans years confused because it's been there twice.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there was two New Orleans years, 2002 and 2013. That was Ray Lewis, his last Super Bowl game. And if I remember, you had it at New Orleans University, I think was the
Yes,
venue.
that for sure.
Right.
It was
Okay.
in New Orleans University.
Yes. See, I've been around a long time too.
You totally do.
Well, let me ask you this. Your relationship with BET started a few years ago as far as the production of Super Bowl Gospel Celebration. How is that working out for you?
It's working out fine.
Mhm.
We produced it and we licensed it to them, and now the last 2 years they have produced it, the last 2 or 3, and so it's a blessing.
Huge numbers.
It's a blessing.
Huge numbers for you.
Yeah, and that they have been a wonderful partner because, most people would not be able to pull off something like this in the way that we've grown. Wouldn't be able to pull it off on their own.
Right. And
So,
during the process, I know you're very close with your dad.
yeah.
How has he helped you along the way?
Oh my God, I would not have been able to do this without him. The sacrifices, when we talk about those personal sacrifices,
Yes.
he has made many.
Mm.
And he's just, he and my mother just were days when I wanted to give up. They were there to say, you know what, you're not giving up, no ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna do a release from anything until God releases you.
Yes. One thing, Melanie, I've noticed over the years, especially with Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, when I just look at the landscape, but I've been able to tell the challenges of African American radio in the country. And there were several companies that I remember being at the Gospel Celebration the first time I covered it in Miami. That was the Colts against the Bears. And those companies no longer exist. Has that affected Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, the challenges to black radio? Because, there's not as many stations as there once was.
Exactly. It's been a blessing to, get the support that I have gotten from Black radio, and I would not be here if it were not for
Right.
Black radio. And so, could you say that question one more time? Because I want to make sure I'm clear about what you're saying.
Well, I was saying that my first time covering the Super Bowl Gospel Celebration in Miami, there were a lot of black affiliated radio stations. Their corporate people that were there. They had tables in the Miami reception area. A lot of those companies are no longer in the radio business, or they've downsized. I was just wondering, has that affected Super Bowl Gospel Celebration any?
A lot of people, if it has, we haven't noticed it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because we get so much local African American radio partners and TV partners because we embrace African American media. So unless I haven't noticed it, maybe the PR agency has noticed it.
Right.
'Cause I just see beautiful people walking in that are pressed. I don't necessarily know who they are.
Right. Yeah, I was just wondering if that had affected it because I remember that particular Super Bowl gospel celebration. Bobby Jones was there. I can't remember every person that was there, but it was a great turnout, and it was at the convention centers attached to the hotel in Miami. And I'm looking for a Super Bowl gospel celebration, and guess where my hotel was?
Where?
The hotel where Super Bowl gospel celebration was.
Oh, wow.
So Pat's wandering around by himself trying to find everything and didn't realize that my room was upstairs.
What a blessing.
So all I had to do was walk over. I hung out and I made sure I met the person that created Super Bowl gospel celebration, and that was your show.
Yep, and it's been years.
And you have done a fantastic job over the years, and I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me in between all the, as busy as you are, taking my calls. And a lot of times I'm just calling to say hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But I know my buddy Michael Gaines has been those guys have really come through for you the last few years.
Oh, Lord,
right?
yes. No doubt about it.
And he's a fantastic singer himself.
He is. He's amazing.
Yeah, Tommy Harris. I didn't realize Tommy Harris could sing that well. And
he has a beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm. How did his testimony that year affect you?
Oh, it was amazing because it went viral. I think like 6 million hits or something.
Right. And I never knew that until he stood up there and gave his testimony along with Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is another one.
Yeah.
That stood up in front of people and gave a tremendous testimony on how far his faith in God has brought him. And you have touched a lot of people, Miss Few. Let me tell you.
God has been so good. Very good.
What are your plans this week coming up?
Well, this week, you mean for Super Bowl?
For Super Bowl, yes.
You know what? I had a death in my family, so I'm kind of really preparing for.
I did see that, and my deepest sympathy extended.
But when I I was supposed to leave for Miami today, and that's not happening. So I'm going to just, when I get there, just really be focusing on an amazing show, and really just putting my focus there. Like I said, I'm usually in the market much earlier, and I just, that was not able to happen this time. So God knows what is best, and He will, everything will still be able to be what it's going to be when I get there. Right.
My deepest sympathy extended to you on your loss. I did see that on Facebook, and if there's anything I can do, I'm always in your corner.
Oh, I appreciate you so much.
Yes, indeed. So you're not going to get there until next week?
I know. I'm getting there. I'm sorry. I'm getting there on Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people don't realize how much groundwork goes into these types of events, do they?
They don't, because you get there and, you have so much work to do. You can't just show up the day before. It doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm. And I know you are extremely busy. And I want to tell this story on how good of a person you are in our last couple of minutes. I showed up to Houston and to pick up my press pass, and it was not there. And I knew you were busy. I was very reluctant to call you. And I said, well, let me try. I called you, and this lady picked up the phone and made sure that I had my press credentials to get in.
I had to. You were my friend.
Because they were about to tell me you're out of luck, buddy. Well, Melanie, I appreciate all that you've done for me over the years. And Super Bowl Gospel Celebration has been one of the great events that I get to cover at the Super Bowl each and every year. But most of all, I think I've met and made one of my good friends in yourself, because you are one of the finest people I have truly
And,
ever met.
and I say the same thing back to you. Ditto.
I appreciate you so much.
I
thank you for,
appreciate you,
and
and
I
thank
know
you
your
for
schedule
having
is
me.
busy. I will see you this week.
See you this week coming up.
And I'm going to be talking to some of your favorite NFL guys. They're coming on Radio Row to talk about Super Bowl Gospel Celebration. And we're going to make
thank
sure
you.
that this interview is up in the next couple of days, okay?
I appreciate you so much.
I know you do better.
Okay. Thank you, Pat.
Hey, my best to Dad. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you in a couple of days, okay?
Okay, see ya.
All right, take care. That is all for us here at Pro Talk with the founder and creator of Super Bowl Gospel Celebration, one of the finest people I have truly ever met, Miss Melanie Few. She is the only person of color with a NFL-sanctioned Super Bowl event, Super Bowl Gospel Celebration. Make sure you tune into it on your BET affiliate, and wherever you're seeing this, it's on next week. I mean, it is a great celebration. I'm the Mighty Oba. We'll see you next week.